Hello everyone, here we are again to another episode of Speak Up and Lead Talks. And today I have here with me a very special guest and someone who is a mix of Brazilian and Swiss. She is Ana Rocha Tediosi. Ana Paula Tediosi, I'm sorry. And I met Anna in Switzerland, in Zurich, a few years ago. And the interesting thing was she approached me because she had an issue. And her issue was that as being half Brazilian and half Swiss, she had this conflict, cultural conflict towards working, towards women at position, women impact in the working place. I will not going to go into that right now with you. I will let Anna to explain, but to give you a little bit more on Anna. Anna is, she works for the pharmaceutical industry in Switzerland, as many people do. And she is in a leading position. And she's also part of the PWG, which is the Professional Women's Group in Zurich. And recently, Anna created a blog called Just Anna, exactly to tackle and to create a conversation towards this matter. The role of a mother, of a married woman with children in the working place. So let's talk to Anna today and welcome Anna. Anna, welcome to our Speak Up and Lead, the place for sexy and savvy conversations.
Hi, Tulia. Thank you very much for the introduction.
You're more than welcome. Anna, so I always ask my guests to share first a story. What happened that all of a sudden, I believe was not all of a sudden, but what happened when you got into this conflict? When you came to me, you said, Tulia, I need to talk about this topic. Help me to really create a message that will reflect what I want to say and create the impact that I want.
Yes, so it was 3 years ago. So with the Professional Women's Group, we were building up the program for the Women Expo. We decided to have a series of seminars and speeches. And we decided at the beginning to put ourselves from the executive committee a little bit on the stage. And in a rush, I told, yes, I will speak about something. And then I realized that the best topic that I could have is really speaking about my experience as a new mom in the workspace in Switzerland. And then I approached you because I never held a speech in my life before, and I realized very soon that it was quite complicated. It's not like a normal PowerPoint presentation. And the whole thing was that when I was pregnant, I didn't realize that it was that tough to discuss with people about the fact that I wanted to come back working and continue my career, even if I was a mom. And I was very surprised about the reaction that I got during my pregnancy and also during the maternity leave. So my Swiss family and the Swiss friends and some people around me were more asking about why you want to come back work, or why you are not working part-time, and why do you want to continue a career now you are a mom. And suddenly I realized that there was a gap between what I was thinking and what was the reality in the Swiss market. So I was surrounded by a lot of women at the time, and now even, from abroad, so expat women, also other mothers working with me in the corporate, and they were actually working without problems. So I didn't realize what's happening. And then suddenly I discovered that it was so I was in a small niche, I was in a small world. The reality was completely different. And then when I realized that, I told myself, okay, maybe this is a subject that we have to discuss and then to bring on the table and say, okay, guys and ladies, it's okay to be a mom and to continue a career.
And that's very interesting, Anna, because I believe many people would be surprised about this topic and talking about Switzerland, because, you know, for the world out there, Switzerland is first world, and we also believe the image we have is that is upfront, is open-minded, because that's what we think about first world. And then all of a sudden, I remember working with you, I also got very surprised to see that the number of women at work in Switzerland is not 100%. You gave me some data here. I have 80% at work, and 31% work full time. And let me explain this to the audience, because here in Switzerland, you have the opportunity to work in a percentage basis, like in the majority work in the 60%, which is a very common, right? 60% or 80%. And that you gave me also here that most of the full-time women in the working place, they are not mothers. And the mothers working full-time are only 10%. And this is really, really something, because then when you think about the impact that those ladies are creating in their own work environment, it really compromises it. Can you share with us something from your experience on that level?
Yes, so as you said, Switzerland is definitely a great country. It's my country, I cannot complain, but we cannot also underestimate the fact that Switzerland is very conservative. And in a conservative country, here the majority of the women stay home, because there is kind of a luxury situation that they can decide to stay home. So it's not up to every country in the world that actually you can say, okay, can I stay home with my child, or can I just work 1 or 2 days? It's very privileged and it's great. But at the same time, what I am feeling is that there is some judgment between women that actually decide to work even if they don't need it. And this is what I would like to discuss. It's not about women have to work. It's about don't judge. No matter what kind of option a mother decide to have in a workplace. And what I'm feeling that if you decide to stay home or to work really part-time with a small pensum, it's fine and you are accepted. But the moment that you work 80% or full-time and you want to keep a career, suddenly you are facing some judgment from other women and from men. And in the workplace, it really depends. I mean, if you are in the small world around Zurich, Zug, and Geneva, so very urban, you don't feel that much, because most of the women is like me, so we have a career, we want to move forward, but we are very, very teeny part, so less than 10%, which is very small, and we are concentrated in basically 3 urban area in Zurich, in Switzerland. And this is okay, because you think, okay, it's nice, but the moment that you move outside, or you have friends like I have all around Switzerland, suddenly you see that mismatch between, yes, I can work full time, and someone telling, yeah, but why? I mean, your husband is doing well, so you could actually reduce and then stay more with your children. But this is not the point.
I say it's about the social and the cultural pressure, right? I was in an event recently from the Women in Finance, and one lady brought to the table exactly that. She said she is happy right now working 60% because she had a son. It's her decision. And she said, maybe I change in the future, but I'm so far so good on that. And that is my own decision. And she said that it's still like she had received a phone call from a friend saying that she have read the mothers working, how it will affect in the development of the child. So I believe you can hear whatever people want to say to put you down, or because they are living by the system and following some kind of pattern, or complying with the status quo, and everybody that want to step out of that face what you told me you face, like you're surprised receiving such comments from friends and family. Because I remember very well I was coaching you, that one thing you told me was that you were raised to be an independent woman, to be a professional, and having a Brazilian mother, a Swiss father. And you said from your Brazilian side, of course, in Brazil, we work because it's a different situation, it's a different economical, social environment. Women work because you have to work in most cases. I remember you telling me that you got really confused when you got married, and then with the time you decided to have a child, which was a decision, was not an accident. You said you both, like you and your husband, were prepared, and then all of a sudden when you had the baby, you stayed at home. When you decided to come back home, you started being approached by your family and asking questions and pressuring you, and not understanding why you had decided to go back to work.
Exactly. Yes, and this is something I think most of the women, of Swiss women, maybe are facing, but maybe they don't have this duality that I have in my life with the family in Brazil, and also maybe the fact that I am surrounded by women coming from abroad with a lot of expat situation. Maybe not all Swiss women are like that, but basically if you go to the statistic in the university, most are women. So we are actually graduating high level with master and PhD and so on. And maybe we invest 10 years or more in university or other kind of graduation. And then suddenly the society expecting from us to just throw all that investments and then stay home with our children. And I don't know what. I mean, there is some misunderstanding there. And then for me, it was a big confusion, because we are raised in Switzerland to be like independent and also to have a best graduation in the world. And then suddenly the expectation is that we stay home with the children. It doesn't match, and especially because the world is full of mom working, so I don't understand the point. So of course the children are our first priority, this is not the point, but you can organize yourself. There is childcare, there is nanny. You can actually reduce for a certain point, 1 or 2 years, and then come back in a full time. It's all about a choice in the family. It's not about a society pressure. If the child is doing good, if he's going 4 days in the kindergarten, why should I change it? So it's really about that. And the pressure, the society pressure, we don't have to underestimate, because once you are there, and then so I mean, also from my husband perspective, and then they are in the meeting, and then he have to left because he have to take the child in the childcare, and they all look at him like, why, what's he doing, your wife? And he's like, yeah, she's working, so I am going to take the child in the childcare. This is also another kind of pressure that we were not expecting. So this is very interesting.
That's very interesting. And I'm happy that you are now there raising a voice to support all the women that are in the same position as you are. And what would you suggest from your experience, what women can do to empower each other, to engage with each other, to support each other in this journey? Because as you said, you are a mix, so you have somehow the support from your Brazilian family, at least. I know your husband has an Italian background as well. So you have some mix there that helps you to break through. No, I wouldn't say easily, but helps you to give that first step. Mm-hmm. What do you suggest to other women that are there and want to make a decision? What could they do? And
I mean, the first thing is really to listen what you really want. So everything is about the choice for your family, but the discussion have to be really sincere with your partner and with your family. So if you really want to spend the first 5 years of your children at home and dedicate completely yourself to your son or your daughter, do it. But it have to be a decision from yourself, not a pressure. And it's important that you start discussing this early in advance, also during the pregnancy, and also with your employer and with your family and your partner. And I think it's good to share other stories like I'm doing now with my blog, because sometimes we feel like we are doing this alone and then maybe it's only me to have this kind of pressure, but it's absolutely not true. And to share and to listen to other stories from women like me or like the one that I have interviewed, and see that actually we are facing all the same challenges on the society pressure is good. But the point is that what is the reflection behind this? Every one of us is different, and everyone else has also different approach from life and from career. Maybe in this moment your career can have a stop and you can stop for 2 years. Maybe you are on the crest of the wave and it's the moment to bring the next step of your career, even if you have a child. So it's really depend on you and your decision with your family. So don't actually take the pressure from the society too much. It's difficult, but it's important that you know what you want.
It's about creating awareness, a self-awareness, Anna, on what is important for you, and then see what has to be changed around you to make that happen. Yeah. And then, as you said, having open conversations with your close ones and explaining your desires. And I believe that that's what it is. And of course, as you mentioned here, reach out and check the ones that are facing the same situation, find support, because it's important to speak up, correct?
Yes, exactly. And that's why I decided to do it. I mean, it's not, we are, even if we are a small percentage of working moms, we are not so less. I mean, 10% of the women population is still working, and it's to share the stories is really important to see, and that's why I'm choosing also different kind of women with background, with different background and different career path, because everyone is yes, everyone is different, but the decision have to come from yourself, because then if you are not happy, the family is not happy. So, and this is the key. So when mom is happy, everyone is happy.
I love this sentence. Yes, it's true. When mom is happy, everybody's happy. And when mom is not happy, ooh,
that's complicated.
That's very complicated. And Anna, my last question for you would be, what key steps these ladies could take when they feel themselves on the situations? Because we talked about it, like speak up, reach out, but and you know, sometimes when you're there, you don't really know what should I do first, or how, to whom should I talk to, and things like that. From your own experience, if you could give some tips to support them.
So I suggest always to have some kind of role model. So for me, it was very important, even in the workplace and outside the workplace, I have one person which is for me in the workplace like a role model. She is a mom, she's doing a great career in the company, and for me was like, okay, I don't know what to do, let's speak with her. So, and I found after the discussion that actually we were sharing so much in common, even if she's not Swiss, but in her country she was facing almost the same. So I really recommend someone to reach out to a role model and then have a really conversation. It don't have to be a friend. It have to be someone who you see that actually he has a family, he has a good career, or he is going through a business path that actually, for example, for entrepreneur, which is very similar to yours. And then at the same time, if you don't have this in your workplace, then do it also outside. So speaking with someone who has already faced this is really important. And also because it brings perspective. So for me, it was important because I also listened to some stuff also from a career perspective that, I mean, career is important, but you can also make a stop for 1 or 2 years. It's not like it's going to make a dramatic impact. 5 years, then it's another stuff. But it's so I really recommend to find around you a role model and then reach out and then speak. So if you don't want to start directly speaking with your employer and then with your husband and then with your family, because then the discussion is going to be maybe tougher, do it. It's very important, and I really like the fact that I have my role models and I can reach out. There are sometimes also some mentors, but there are moms which I rely a lot on, and they really helped me.
That's excellent. And I believe at platforms like PWG, the Professional Women's Group, they are platforms that are very supportive, because there you have professional women in different backgrounds, different stories, but for sure you will find someone that will be ready to listen to you and maybe even direct you to someone else or to some resources that will help you to start this journey and to feel more confident and change your life if it's needed to, but at least to feel more comfortable and happy with your decisions.
Yes, absolutely. Also, get a good women network is always important, because if you don't have around you the proper person, you have to reach in the proper group. And for me, of course, I have a lot of role models and lovely women that actually could help me during the phase, even now, because now the situation is different. So the child is growing, and then I'm facing new challenges, and it's good to have other women to share, and we discover that we are all in the same situation, and we laugh on that, and we say, okay, this is good. So it's very important to share this.
Anna, thank you very much for sharing this with the community, and I'm sure there will be someone out there that will be pleased to listen to you and know you, because I will leave here the information about Anna, and you can check out her blog called Just Anna. Love the title, where she is interviewing ladies that are facing different situations in the workplace, and as she said, different backgrounds, basically just speaking up, sharing stories, and with that support each other and reach Anna, and she will be happy to talk to you. And if you can visit the PWG in Zurich, I will put all this information for you out there. Once more, Anna, thank you for sharing your story, giving us your time, and for the ones out there, keeping speaking up and leading, ladies. And this is all from me here, Tulio Lopez, and talk soon. Bye for now.